Hi, my name is Lucas and I'm a product manager for PrestaShop in Paris.
Yeah, my name is Philip Schmidt. I'm the marketing manager at Friends of Design.
My name is Misha Tenenbaum. I live and work in Hollywood, California. I've worked on TV shows all across Hollywood.
My name's Paul Humphreys. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Student Crowd.
My name's Sam Ciccone. I'm a developer at Mojotech.
My name is Robin and I'm the founder of Asana Yoga.
I think one of our biggest challenges is probably getting deeper insights into the user behavior. Not necessarily what they're doing on the website and how long they stay there, but why they did go for that product, why they chose that product, and what was the reason for them to purchase that course in that way.
If you're making websites and trying to understand how your users are using the website, HotJar is a critical tool that you should integrate in with your workflow. It allows you to measure what you do. It allows you to figure out how your users perceive and use your site. In that way, it's in my toolbox and I use it for every project that I'm working on.
You know, my background isn't in web development, and HotJar has been a very simple way for me to aggregate useful data. You know, I have Google Analytics and I use it, but much beyond looking at sort of some surface numbers, I don't really know what to do with it. Whereas with HotJar, I use tools like the video playback and I actually know what I need to change about my website because of those tools.
Team meetings, we often have the discussion about what kind of projects to focus on next or where to spend our money and limited resources as a startup. So HotJar gives us real insight and also data about what the customer really wants, and it helps us to make the right investments and to prioritize our projects in the right way.
I never considered heat maps or click maps. The idea hadn't even crossed my mind. So now to be able to see what's above the page fold and think about it like that, or to think how far down are my customers scrolling, so where should the most important information be, I learned that on my educational page, which is the most valuable page that I have, viewers, about 20% of them were dropping off without getting down to see any of the products. So I moved where that information was to the landing page where they'll see it right away. And now when educators go to the education page, the products are the first thing that they see above the fold. It really did help the way that we redesigned the site.
Another thing HotJar helps us is with content marketing. So we see not our revenue streams, but we see content marketing as the heart of our business. So we often ask users about what kind of food habits do you have? Are you vegan, vegetarian, or what do you eat? Or where do you do yoga? Do you do yoga outside, in a yoga studio, or do you do it at home? So this helps us also to get into the mind of the customer and to provide him with the right content.
We started to use HotJar with a cloud version in private beta. We wanted to test onboarding with thousands of users. Thanks to HotJar, we were able to detect some flaws in onboarding, make changes, and make sure that these improvements were effective. Thanks to that, we were able to get out of beta in only 4 months.
We've used a wide variety of tools at Mojotech to analyze how people use our site. However, HotJar was the first one that really let us quickly determine if a change that we put into place was effective or not. It gave quick feedback on individual incremental changes that it surfaced for us versus us having to dive deep into information.
So part of our business is e-commerce, which means we have over 600 products in our shop. And I'd like to give you an example about one landing page. So there is a category page, which is quite important for us. And on this category page, we have 20 products listed there. So with HotJar heat maps, we actually found out that from those 20 products, 60% of the customers were just interested in 3 products. So, but the problems with the 3 products were that they were at the bottom of the page. So we have moved those 3 products, which people were interested in, up the page, made another heat map, and we have immediately seen a change of 10% increase in conversion.
Well, my favorite thing about HotJar is that I installed it with about 10 lines of code that I copied and pasted into the header of my website, and that was it. And that did all of the functions that we're talking about with polls and surveys and video feedback and and a dozen other things that I haven't even gotten to yet.
I think HotJar is useful for any website, any business, because it helps you to understand your users and whether they're customers and it's an e-commerce website, or whether it's a government organisation providing useful content for people, then anyone can use this tool to help understand and serve their users and customers better.
I've never used a tool like HotJar before. I did once use a tool for video playback where I hired a company to record 3 users and talking about their experience using EditStock. Each user cost me $50, and here on HotJar I'm recording 1,000 users. It's just so much more information. It's like I sit down at night with a bowl of popcorn and can just watch how people have used EditStock. It helps me get to know my customers.
My favorite tool is definitely visitor recordings because it allows us to detect behavior and understand user like no other tools.
One of my favourite tools, probably my favourite because I suggested it along with probably hundreds of other people, is video tagging. So when I go through footage of user journeys and I spot similar behaviour happening, perhaps an issue with the website, then I tag it and maybe tag 10 videos so that when that then goes to the developers to resolve the problem, they can watch 10 instances of the problem occurring to really understand the issue. And we also use that for success stories. So when a student has a great experience on our site, perhaps they've looked at lots of halls, they've analysed reviews, and they've selected the one that they want to live in for the next year, we can also circulate success stories using the same tool.
Tools in HotJar is the polls tool. I asked a simple open-ended question to users that came to my page in a non-intrusive way. The pop-up would happen only when they were about to exit the page or if they've been on the page for a certain period of time. In my case, I chose like 20 seconds. So quite a bit of time for them to not be annoyed by a question, but then one very simple open-ended question, which is, what's your background with editing and what's your aspiration as an editor? And that simple bit of data collected from 50 respondents helped me build a word cloud that explained to me exactly who my customer was and what the most important things for them was. I think it's pretty normal for a website like mine, which I had expected focused on students, to use a lot of language about student editing or film school. But what my clients, what my customers actually wanted to talk about was work. Over and over again, they said, I'm here because I want to work. And that changes the way that not only that I message, but also the way that I develop my platform.
I strongly believe that the key to success for our business is the true understanding of the customer. So definitely, my favorite tool in HotJar is polls, which means we can ask our user all the time on the whole website what they're interested in with multiple choice questions and so on, and we find out what really drives them, what really motivates them.
To summarise it, it's that HotJar has helped us to understand our users much better than we ever did before, and by understanding them we can provide better solutions to the problems that they've had using our site. A great example of this is that the key part of our website is a student leaving a review, and before we installed HotJar, the review form was converting at about 10%, meaning that 90% of our users clicked on review my haul and then didn't review it. After 2 hours on HotJar, we'd spotted 3 things that we thought were damaging our conversion rate, and we managed to get it to 15%. A couple of months later, with lots of trial and error, we're now up to 25%, and we're continuing to do more experiments and really seeing the results of those live using HotJar.
When I go to meetings or when I speak at conferences, I almost always recommend to use HotJar. First of all, it's super easy to implement on your own website. It's just one code snippet, you put it in and you're ready to go. And also you have all those kind of tools, from heat maps to screen recordings, from polls and so on, all combined in one tool set. And so it is so easy to use. And because everything, all this data is combined in one tool set, you actually use it. And of course, if it's all in one tool set, it's also cheaper than having all those different separate options.
HotJar is a very complete solution. You don't have to switch between tools that are not compatible between them. It's easy to set up, affordable, making it a no-brainer for small merchants or startups. We'll definitely keep using it at PrestaShop.
I think every site needs information about their customers. It's the most important bit of information because you as a company don't exist without your customers. The better you know them and the better your relationship with them is, the better you'll be able to communicate to them and get your messages across.
I would say HotJar makes it easy for me to back up the decisions. And in the same respect, it allows me to admit that I was wrong and to revert changes and to go back to the way things were.
I think anyone in the digital marketing field should use HotJar just simply because of gaining so much more of a deeper understanding of your customers' behavior, of insights beyond what you get in your standard analytics applications or web apps.
I don't think I've ever used a tool quite like HotJar before, honestly.
You can imagine for someone in marketing, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like
Last but not least, I like to say that I really love the team behind HotJar. I was part of their journey from the beginning, so when they had the closed beta. And now I'm still with HotJar, and when I have a question, I just drop them a line, and they're very fast in answering. They're very open for new feature requests, which is a very cool thing, and the tool is awesome. So go for it.